65. Gasoline prices are going to plummet. Any other time, that would be the number one story. In fact, if you go to the polls, what will get you elected as president? Much cheaper gasoline or Wall Street crying? I'm just being honest about it.
Did he really say what will get you elected? Much cheaper gasoline or Wall Street crying? Does he not remember that Donald Trump lost the election in 2020, the year of his presidency that had the lowest gas prices of his presidency? Does he not remember that? So yes, in the coming days, we are going to see gas prices plummet. That's totally a thing. Another thing we're also going to see is Republicans standing on gas prices as the answer to everything. Forget about the recession. Forget about the complete economic collapse. You're saving 20 cents a gallon on gas. And forget the fact that your rent is twice as much as it was 3 years ago. Forget the fact that your car insurance is twice as much, or your homeowner's insurance, or that your food's twice as much, or that your basic overall cost of living is probably twice as much as it was just a few years ago, because you get to save 20 cents a gallon on gas. And that's what's important. Do you remember a month ago when conservatives were all claiming that we had the lowest gas prices in many years, in over 4 years? And they were completely lying about it. And that lasted for a couple of days. And then you didn't hear from them again for a month because gas prices jumped by 25 cents a gallon. That's about to happen again. That's about to happen again. Now, that is assuming that this tariff deal gets worked out. Understand something. If the tariff deal gets worked out in the next few days and the stock markets start to climb, that's exactly what's going to happen with gas prices. Because there's nothing fundamental about this oil price drop. This is all market driven. This is all sentiment driven. And the only way to sustain the lower gas prices would be to drive the economy further and further and further in the ditch. This is unsustainable unless you completely burn down everything. And for some reason, I have a feeling nobody's going to care about gas prices if that's what happens. Because think of COVID. Was anybody worried about how cheap gas was? Was anybody celebrating how cheap gas was during COVID? No. Gas prices during COVID was an afterthought. It only became an issue when gas prices rose a couple of years later. That's when everyone started talking about gas prices during COVID, was 2 years after COVID. If gas prices are what Republicans are worried about, the last thing they want is this economic problem to get solved. Because moving forward, probably for the rest of the Trump administration, oil companies are going to pull back big time, regardless of what happens with oil prices. They're done with the Trump administration. That's what you need to understand right now. Donald Trump's only move is to keep driving the economy into the ditch if he's really worried about gas prices. Because if all of this gets fixed in a few days and in a week, the market's coming back, guess what not coming back? The drilling rigs they're laying down. The drilling rigs are going to get laid down no matter what happens with oil prices. Do you honestly think that after the complete cluster that has been the first 100 days of the Trump administration, oil companies are going to spend any more money than they absolutely need to moving forward as long as Donald Trump is the president? No, that's not a thing. So the absolute worst thing that could happen if you're worried about gas prices is for there to be any recovery at all in the economy. So here's a piece of advice for the economically illiterate conservatives who are going to be celebrating these low gas prices. When you go to the gas station and you save that $5 on that tank of gas, take that $5 and put it in a savings account and add another $5 to it every time. Because that's what you're going to need to pay for gas when all this is over with. Thanks.